Cutting this piece of meat, I want you to look at what we call the marbling score. So you can get a pretty good idea of that. When we're talking about grading of beef, what we're talking about is the color of the fat and, of course, the specks of marble that is inside the eye muscle. There is obviously a front and a back end of this animal. What he's doing is he's starting at the shoulder area, and he's moving towards the loin or towards the New York and the tenderloin area. But in this area here, you can see where the marbling score is inside this. A good piece of beef has a small percentage of pockets of fat. What we call these kernels of fat in this muscle, and it's got but it's got really good flecks of fat in it, or marbling as we call it. Also, you can see the color of the meat, and if you look at real carefully at the texture of this meat, what it tells us in the meat business is the animal is probably about 20 months old. It's of what we call English breeds, which is Hereford, Angus, and the original Scottish breeds of beef animal. And between the genetics and the age of the animal and the way it's been raised, and also the way it's been finished on the grain diet, what that has produced is a really good color in the meat itself, the muscle tissue, and the marbling score is light. Sometimes if you get animals that they're over fattened, where the meat is real dark red, and there's not a lot of marbling inside the muscle, and there's big kernels of fat in it, and that's not what you're looking for. This is a great example of high quality beef. As we all know, that the highest grade of beef is prime. This happens to be choice. It's the top 1/3 though of the choice grade, and in the meat industry, we started separating choice into 3 different levels several years ago. This beef here is part of the American Angus Association Certified Angus Beef Program. It's producers, ranchers of black Angus beef, black-hided beef that have taken their cattle to a market, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to, out of 100 head typically of Angus cattle that go to market, they've set specifications above and beyond the choice grade and the prime grade that pretty much handpicks about 15% of the animals taken to market. So when Frank's selection process for his restaurants are pretty much out of 100 head of cattle, we're going to select about 15 that are going to pass the specifications for this type of quality beef.
The cool thing about this is the marbling inside, and there's not that big a fat cap on it, which is, sort of wasted. Although I love it, I just didn't just eat the fat than anything else.
Excuse me, I'm going to start.
But